Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with the final set of levels for the new update in Dr. Mario World. And once again, we have some pretty tough ones. But all in all, I actually think these weren't so bad as some of the other ones we played. So starting off with this one of the ones that took me the least amount of tries, I think just 2 in total. And the first try, I kind of left a bunch of stuff up top to the very end. And there are a few strategies you can do on this level to kind of get rid of that problem. The first thing you could do is do what I'm going to do in this level, which is destroy it all manually before all the bubbles go away. And I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but it ended up working out. The other way to do it is to destroy the blocks that are covering it, and then allow the bubblers to actually bubble them, bring them down to the bottom, and then destroy them with everything else. The problem with that can be is they will fall onto the bubblers, just rebubbling themselves. So be cautious in whatever you want to do. I hate dealing with the bubblers, so I decided to do it this way. And you can see I'm pretty much already done here. I just have this final one in the top, and now all we have to do is work on the stuff in the bottom, and things are going to get bubbled. It seems like the bubblers try to get things above them. So when you actually trigger them, sometimes they don't even do anything. Maybe it's not like that, and sometimes it just doesn't work correctly. I don't know, but you can see that one just did not bubble anything, and there are a bunch of blue viruses and yellow viruses still on the stage, and even some cannons that could have bubbled. So I don't really know what the deal is with the bubblers sometimes. I don't know exactly how they work. But I kept triggering them, and the viruses just kept not being affected by it. So I'm not going to complain. That was nice. I don't know if it was just if that always happens, but hopefully it happens for you because it makes it a lot easier. We beat it with 9 capsules remaining, which is a really good amount. I think I only would have needed like 4 or 5 to actually get 3 stars. So it went pretty well. I don't know who to suggest for that one. Maybe Bowser Jr. if you want to try and bubble all those things. Now this one is the hardest one in my opinion, to 3-star mainly. And what I did was I decided, okay, I'm going to have to bring in King Boo for this one. I hate doing it, but I'm going to have to do it. And I either do it with Wario or I do it with Nabbit. I never bring in Nabbit, so I figured I'd just do it with Nabbit. And it still took a very long time, but if you just have a good round, you're going to get 3 stars. With Nabbit for sure. And if King Boo triggers, then you're absolutely going to get it. And I also brought a point boosting assistant in as well. So what you're going to want to do, especially bringing in Wario or Nabbit, is make sure to hit all these blocks while you can. Use the keys to your advantage while they're there. But obviously don't wait too long. If you blow up the bombs that are closer to the top, it will actually put the coin or the keys down, and will be really hard to actually deal with them later. So make sure you don't let any of the keys fall either. And I also didn't get rid of all the blocks on well, actually, that bomb is going to blow it up, so maybe I did. The bomb will do a few of the hits for the blocks for you, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, so the bomb hits it completely. And then we got to work on this other side here. I'm guessing I'm going to use this double yellow for the other bomb. And those sides were both lined up really nicely as well. This round went great, even if King Boo hadn't have triggered, but I think it was pretty necessary either way. And then we're going to go for this red one, and I think I get a double red for it, yeah. Which I can wedge in between here and hit both of these blocks. And I still have one more hit in this block up here. I think I used the yellow to do it. Yep. And then all the blocks up there are done. So now we can move on to the rest of the section or the level here. And there are quite a lot more blocks to hit. I tried bringing Wendy, and it just did not seem good. Please let me know in the comments who you used. Did you use the King Boo strategy? Did you have another strategy you used? Let other people know as well. I'm always curious, but the main point is to let other people know some other strategies if mine isn't the greatest. And with 7 capsules here, we start working our way to the very end. and I really just needed like the right colors. If it had not given me the right colors, it might have been a problem. You can see I've got the yellows, I've got the blues. I had a bunch of reds that I already kind of got rid of, but it just barely works out there with that final red one. I got confused for a second. I couldn't see the red one. I was like, wait, did I actually lose this one? But no, with 0 capsules remaining, with King Boo triggering, we were able to beat it with Nabbit. Maybe Wario's a little bit better. I don't know. It's up to you to decide, I guess. This one was my first try with Boo, and it actually worked out. I think I brought in Wario the first time, and I was just quite a lot left on stage, so I figured I'd try someone else. And what Boo does is, there's a good chance he's going to hit that lock in the middle on his first skill. It's not entirely ensured, but it's pretty likely. And all of the 4 corners have like 4 viruses in them. It's pretty likely that he'll also hit them. So you can probably just leave some of them and rely on him actually hitting them. I would kind of suggest going for the floating viruses mainly. Oh, there's my 20% battery warning as well. I would suggest going for the top 2 corners, the floating viruses, and then whatever's in the middle, and then let him destroy the bottom corners. He already destroyed one of the corners for me, and on his next skill, I believe he hits that lock for me. I was going to head in there and start working on it. That can waste a lot of capsules as well, going for that lock, so it's really nice when he does it for you. You also need to get all the blue coins, which means there are some iced sections in the way. The color crates actually don't matter. They only matter to get to the lock, but once you get there, you don't need to destroy the rest. I guess you get some points from them, but there's no other point besides that. If you want to try and rely on Boo hitting the viruses in the barrels, you're gonna have to kind of just work on everything else, and I would kind of just suggest to go for the barrels yourself. I've lined up some stuff here so that when I destroy the barrels, the yellow one will already have a capsule on top of it. And like I said, also work on the floating viruses and everything. When you get to this point with King Boo, you're going to want to make sure you leave a good section for him to destroy. You don't want him to destroy a bad section. So right there he got rid of some of those ones in the barrels, which is really nice actually. Maybe I changed my mind on the whole thing about which ones you let him destroy. But I believe at some point here I end up destroying, yeah, so I placed on some blues, I'm able to hit that yellow one, and then I think he gets those 2, which is exactly what I wanted him to do. I don't know how well I would have done if he had destroyed the other ones. I think 3 is probably the amount I needed. I don't know if 2 would have cut it, honestly. Maybe it would have, just barely, but I think 3 was just like the most safe outcome. So cutting it very close on that one as well. This is the only one in the group that I beat on my first try. You can see I'm switching back over to Wario. And this level is kind of nice. I think it's supposed to be like a reference to the second level in the game or something. There's a level in the game that has its numbers. And I think this one is an homage to that. Because Toad comes up here. And I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But I believe that's like one of the tutorial Toads. So they give you the colors you need to start destroying the first initial things. I'd also hit the purple or the pink coins as well while you're at it. And obviously it's showing 999. The flasks are only going to spawn in viruses and the rotating cannons. So if you don't want more viruses to spawn in, obviously you gotta keep that from happening, which I am able to do for quite a long time actually. But eventually I will have to place something down and the everything will start spawning in, and that's when things kind of get tough. I would definitely recommend destroying as much as you can before that happening, because that means you can get a lot of the blocks already done with, and you're more likely then to, yeah, and then I misplaced that yellow, which actually caused that to happen, but you're most likely then going to have less viruses to have to work on later, because like I said, it spawns in more viruses. You don't want that. So even though the cannons can be nice, you really don't want more viruses to spawn in. And you also need to make sure to work on the blocks. Whenever you get some double capsules, I would recommend trying to go for a block. And the main thing is just don't let more viruses spawn in. If you let a bunch spawn in, you're just not going to clear the level. They give you quite a lot of capsules to do this one. I think I end with a good amount. I don't remember though. I recorded all these yesterday, and then I went to bed. It was like 5 in the morning. Luckily I didn't have any classes today. But, I mean, I was up super late, just playing the special stage, really. And I also want to save to watch WandaVision anyway, so I would have been up. So I guess it also spawns in bombs, I neglected to mention. And the bombs are pretty useful, I guess, especially if they're near a block or something. I only have 5 more viruses on the stage, actually. Oh, never mind, now we have 7. But I think I don't allow anything else to spawn in after this point. I might be wrong. But that can destroy some of the viruses for me, which is nice. And then I'm going to have to hit these reds manually, so I think... Oh, never mind, I placed that there. And I was wrong, there are 2 more viruses here. At some point we allow it, or we keep it from spawning anymore in. It's either on this one or the next one. And we just have a bunch of red viruses, no other colors. We got a double red there, which helped me out a lot. I start setting up these blues to work over here. Yeah, so one more time, viruses spawn in. Only one more spawned in, and at least it wasn't a red. If it was a red, it'd be really annoying. But we bring down this yellow and this red, keeping the flash from triggering. I think, yeah, we're able to do it again. And then I have to place 1 capsule down, but then we're able to hit the final block. And with 6 capsules remaining, we had enough points. I think we passed it pretty maybe not healthily, pretty safely, I guess. 5 or 4 capsules would probably be cutting it close or not making it. Now I have to say I'm a little embarrassed because this level is supposed to be like the climax, like 100 of everything. Oh, there's more than 100 of everything, but they want you to clear 100 of everything. And it's supposed to be like a momentous occasion, like, woo, we made it to 1,000. And then I actually lost on my first try. I got a game over because the stage scrolls so quickly. I mean, not necessarily even quickly. The stage scrolls based on your amount of capsules you pull out. I guess I should mention that. The more capsules you're taking out, the more the stage is going to scroll. So you really just need to be as conservative and tactful, I guess, with each of your moves. It's not necessarily about speed, even. It's just about getting rid of the viruses up top as soon as you can. And I feel like I managed it much better this round for some reason. Maybe it was because I knew this second time that there could be a game over. I kind of just assumed they were going to give us a nice little romp. And I'm sure a lot of you actually even beat this on your first try. But there really isn't much else to talk about of this level other than the fact that like there's no strategies really. You're really just going for whatever you get. I guess you go for bombs and cannons first before viruses themselves. And there are going to be some blocks, I guess, that you'll probably have to destroy yourself sometimes just to make sure you don't get a game over. I feel like this level is super stressful, honestly. And I think it's supposed to be more of a fun little celebration. I should also mention there's no way you're going to run out of capsules. Like, there's absolutely no way. So just use whatever you need to. Obviously, don't spam capsules because then you're going to get a game over. Spamming capsules is probably the worst thing you can do in this level, honestly. But you probably don't need to bring in Wario, I would say. I ended with like over 30 capsules. I don't think Wario gave me... Well, I probably got a skill quite a lot. But I doubt it was 10 times. So I would maybe suggest bringing in someone other than him. I don't know who to suggest though. Maybe like Fire Rosalina would be good. But it's also just kind of nice to play the level as it was intended. So bring in Wario. He doesn't affect the stage at all. And we're getting very close to the end of this scrolling now. Once it stops scrolling, you can really just take a breath and beat the level normally. And there are some of these extra point capsules as well, I guess I should say. I think there's only like 2 or 3 of them. But if you can get this red one early, I guess that's that red one really contributed to my score there. I got like 8 from that. So keep that in mind as well, I guess. I think, yeah, there's only like 2 point... This level is so random. But it is a fun idea to have like 100 that you need to clear everything. I kind of wish there was exactly 100. There's just some random stuff on the bottom. There is exactly 100 blue coins. You can see now I've kind of managed to catch up a little bit more with everything. I don't know specifically what happened, but we're very, very close to the end of the stage here. It's going to stop scrolling in just a second. I think destroying viruses might also scroll the stage a little bit, so keep that in mind if you're destroying stuff closer to the bottom. I would just say always destroy the stuff on the top, just to ensure you don't get a game over. I was getting a little worried here towards the end, but now the stage just stopped scrolling. So you don't need to worry anymore. And I have 30 capsules, so I'm not really worried. I'm still kind of being a little tactful, but it's not necessary at all. Just go for it. There are even some electric bombs, shells, regular bombs that will all just contribute to this final section here. Really just a very stressful level, but once you are at the bottom, it's just like, alright, I beat this one. I've made it through 1,000 levels of Dr. Mario World. I have 3-starred every single level in this game. And I'm about to do the next special stage as well, which is very exciting. The final thing you're probably going to have to do is there are some blocks and ice and barrels covering some blue coins. You'll just need to use a couple of capsules to destroy the things covering them. And there we go. That was the 1000th level of Dr. Mario World. And it was probably the longest stage in the game. And it sucks to lose it because then you have to go all the way back through it. But here's what the world looks like once you have completed it. We've got some squirrels flying around. The house is a little cleaned up. Some flowers sprout. Some Goombas are walking around. So now it's time to go and unlock Donkey Kong in the special stage. And I brought in Fire Rosalina. And I really think she's the best character for this. There's some sections that she's really great for destroying. So right away you're going to want to hit that blue one. If you don't, the bubbles will actually fall and kind of ruin your run a little bit. And then I would typically just build up some stuff to through the middle to get to the other sections here. Using Fire Rosalina, she destroys that section for me, which is really annoying a lot of the time. So that was nice of her. With Fire Rosalina, you really want to leave only what you want her to destroy for you. Otherwise, you're going to kind of force her to destroy something like these 2 pink viruses, which I could have easily done myself. I was kind of kicking myself when I did that, but luckily this round still worked out. And then there are some blocks on the side here that you can destroy, which is lining 3 capsules up with each other. Oh, I also want to mention, I brought in King Boo and Bomb Boo just because... oh, also I mess up with this door as well. This was my bad. Just because you don't need points, you might as well just bring something in that can benefit you. I do not remember if King Boo triggered or not. I assume he probably did. I had a tough time with this one. I played it for quite a while. I think like over half an hour I played it. Because I used all of the time from my free 30 minutes of... my 30 minutes of free play with the hearts. So we've got this one door here that we still need to work on. Did King Boo trigger? I don't think he even did. Maybe he will. I think I just had a really good round. Neither Bomb Boo or King Boo triggers, I think. So that's pretty good. I mean, you can bring in whatever assistance you want, I guess, if you have a good round. And then if you do this here, sometimes Fire Rosalina does not actually destroy all of those. You would really think she would, but she doesn't sometimes. That time she happened to. And sometimes you just have the stuff you need to do it yourself. But I feel like I didn't explain that level very well. Hopefully my gameplay is good enough. I got Medal 108, which is pretty good. And Donkey Kong as well. So thank you for watching. I had fun with this one. Some of the levels are really challenging. I'm looking forward to play level 1001. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.